Hello everyone and welcome back for some more Drag Race gossip, secrets and drama. In this video we're going to be focusing on the dramatic life and career of one of the most iconic and influential queens in Drag Race history, which is Alyssa Edwards. I'll be going through Alyssa's early life, her dramatic time on Drag Race, the many feuds and controversies she's been involved in since the show, the drama after her Netflix documentary, and what she's up to now. All that and more coming up in today's video, so let's get started. And if you like these videos, please make sure you hit the subscribe button to get notified when I post more of them. Thank you! The origins of Alyssa Edwards. Alyssa Edwards' legal name is Justin Dwayne Lee Johnson, and she was born on January the 16th, 1980 in Mesquite, Texas. Alyssa was one of 7 children in a working-class family. She described her father as being, quote, very, very masculine, and not exactly encouraging when it came to her interest in performing. Meanwhile, her sisters were cheerleaders, and she always wanted to join them during practice. It was actually her openly gay uncle Bobby who became her biggest supporter growing up. He paid for her to take an all-boys jazz dance class and got her a small role as an extra in a local production of Brigadoon. Alyssa's parents divorced while she was in high school. After graduating, she briefly attended Ranger College before transferring to the University of North Texas, where she was part of the college cheer squad and came out as gay. It was at university that she got into the Dallas drag scene after some friends took her to see a show at the Rose Room in Dallas. She soon became a regular there and eventually entered an amateur drag competition, performing in drag herself for the first time. When the MC of the event asked for her stage name, she chose the name Alyssa because of the actress Alyssa Milano, who she had grown up watching on the show Who's the Boss? Alyssa's drag mother, Laken Edwards, is then the one who later gave her the surname Edwards. Alyssa went on to found her own drag house, the House of Edwards, becoming drag mother to several future Drag Race queens including Shangela, Laganja Estranja, Gia Gunn and Plastique Tiara, and also Vivienne Pinay later became an honorary member of the House of Edwards. As some of you may remember from one of my previous videos, Vivienne Pinay actually worked as Alyssa's personal assistant and can be seen doing Alyssa's hair and makeup on the web series Alyssa's Secret. And if you want to know more about Vivienne Pinay, I did do an entire video about her which I'll link to in the description. Alyssa's pageant career and the origin of her feud with Coco Montrese. Before Drag Race, Alyssa had built up a huge reputation on the US pageant circuit. Starting in the mid-2000s, she won several titles including Miss Gay Texas America in 2005, Miss Gay US of A in 2006, and Miss Texas Continental in 2007, along with several close placements at the biggest pageant of them all, Miss Gay America. In October 2009, Alyssa finally won the crown and became Miss Gay America 2010. However, less than a year into her reign, on December the 9th, 2010, the Miss Gay America organization officially stripped Alyssa of her title. They said the reason was that Alyssa had been doing business dealings that conflicted with her obligations as a winner. More specifically, the organization's owners were unhappy that Alyssa had gone to California to judge another pageant, the Miss California EOY pageant, without getting their permission first, because all of the title holders' bookings are supposed to go through the organization. On top of that, there were reports that 2 former Miss Gay America winners separately complained to the organisation about Alyssa's behaviour. She was also stripped of a second title she had, All American Goddess, in the same year. Coco Montrese, who was the first alternate, and at the time one of Alyssa's closest friends in the pageant world, was then crowned Miss Gay America 2010 in Alyssa's place. And this is the origin story of one of Drag Race's most famous feuds, and although they did talk about it on the show, it was never fully explained. Most people just know that Alyssa and Coco used to be friends and fell out, but the full story is that Alyssa lost her crown, her close friend was given it instead, and the friendship never recovered. And that's the real reason their season 5 storyline was so explosive. So let's go through some of that story now. Alyssa's dramatic time on Drag Race. In November 2012, Alyssa was announced as one of the contestants for Season 5 of RuPaul's Drag Race, and she was cast alongside her now estranged pageant sister, Coco Montrese. The show leaned into their previous beef, and it became one of the biggest storylines of the season, including the famous workroom fight when Alyssa said that Coco looked orange.
Girl, look how orange you look, girl. I'm not joking, bitch.
Alyssa won the ballet-themed main challenge in episode 4, which gave her immunity, right before she did Katy Perry for Snatch Game, which was not well received. In fact, RuPaul actually made Alyssa publicly apologise to Katy Perry on Twitter afterwards in what Alyssa called a RuPaulogize. Alyssa landed in the bottom 3 times overall and survived 2 lip syncs, but then she lip synced against her rival Coco Montrese in episode 9 and was eliminated. Because Alyssa became a fan favourite on season 5, she was brought back in 2016 for season 2 of All Stars, and once again she was alongside Coco Montrese as well as several of her season 5 sisters. But this time we found out that Alyssa and Coco had reconciled off camera, which brought an end to their feud. Alyssa had a genuinely strong run on All Stars 2. She won the Rusical in episode 3 playing Annie Oakley and chose to eliminate Ginger Minj over Katya. She was then eliminated by Alaska in episode 4 before re-entering the competition later on. But the really controversial moment then came in episode 7. Detox eliminated Alyssa over her own Rolaskatox sisters, Roxy Andrews and Alaska, which also was on the anniversary of Alyssa's mother's death. At the time, fans were very angry about Detox's decision. Many of them felt that Detox had voted to protect her friends, rather than making her decision based on merit or track record. In fact, in a 2018 interview, Detox admitted that eliminating Alyssa over Roxy was the wrong call and it is one of her biggest regrets. Detox revealed that she actually put Alyssa's lipstick under her sleeve at one point and considered asking a production assistant if she could change her answer. Alyssa's elimination still regularly shows up on the lists of the most shocking and heartbreaking eliminations in Drag Race history. Alyssa's feuds and controversies. As I mentioned earlier, Alyssa's most well-known feud was with Coco Montrese, but the two later reconciled. Coco has said in interviews since then that, quote, "Alyssa and I will always be friends." But Coco is not the only queen Alyssa's had beef with over the years. Trixie and Katya once called Alyssa a, quote, diva when they appeared on Hey Queen, joking that watching Alyssa's secret on TV is fun, but living it on a tour bus is a different story. Trixie also told a story about Alyssa almost getting into a fist fight with another queen and then walking off tour. And according to Trixie, Alyssa was almost fired from that tour because of her lateness.
You know, Alyssa Edwards, always and forever, but only sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, watching Alyssa's Secret is different than living Alyssa's Secret. And it was a show where she was late for she was late for meet and greet, and then she was not on time for her number, and then I think in the heat of the moment, it was a Mimi I'm First who was the director of the tour. Like, if you can't make the meet and greet and you can't make your number, I'm firing you. And so there was a big fight. It was almost. There was a security called moment. I remember Milk crouching down, going between them, standing up, and just pushing them apart because they were about to hit. And it was. Yeah. I remember Alyssa turned and yelled, "I don't want to be on this B-cast tour anyway."
After that Hey Queens episode aired, Alyssa actually called Trixie directly to address it, rather than letting it turn into a public feud. Trixie later said Alyssa's attitude was, quote, "I don't entertain drama, chaos, confusion and madness," and the two moved past it professionally. Alyssa has also been at the centre of a few other dramas and controversies over the years as well. Back in 2015, while Alyssa was in the middle of filming All Stars 2, Miley Cyrus pulled her off set specifically so she could perform at that year's VMAs. Miley had seen the House of Edwards perform at the Drag Race finale and loved it so much that she wanted them to be part of her VMA performance. Originally, the Drag Race producers said they would not allow Alyssa to leave filming to go to the VMAs, so Miley went over their heads and called the head of the network directly to get them to agree to it. And there are rumours that some of the queens felt like this was unfair and that Alyssa was getting preferential treatment by the show.
Alyssa Edwards was filming All Stars and they let her off set just to come do this performance.
Another controversy Alyssa was involved in was that back during COVID times, footage emerged of several Drag Race queens, including Vanessa Vanjie Mateo, Silky Nutmeg Ganache, and Shangela, at maskless gatherings in Puerto Vallarta in Mexico during COVID lockdown, which drew a lot of backlash online for breaking pandemic rules. Although Alyssa was not part of that group, there was a lot of scrutiny about the subject, and Alyssa got called out by content creator Evan Rose Katz because she had a Thanksgiving party with a large group of people at her house, which was apparently against lockdown rules at the time, and she posted photos of the event online. The Dancing Queen documentary and the backlash. In 2018, Netflix released Dancing Queen, which was a docuseries produced by RuPaul and World of Wonder, which followed Justin, aka Alyssa, as she runs her real-life dance studio, Beyond Belief Dance Company, in Mesquite, Texas, while also living her life as her drag persona, Alyssa Edwards. The show was generally well received, and critics said it did a good job of humanising both sides of Justin/Alyssa's life, and it gave the Dance Moms just as much emotional depth as a show like Dance Moms, but with more warmth. The main criticisms of the show were that it was stylistically over the top, with a lot of confessionals and dramatic moments that some reviewers felt were excessive. But there was also some genuine controversy on the back of the documentary, which affected Alyssa. Marcella Ranieri was the assistant director at the Beyond Belief Dance Company, and she quickly became one of the most polarizing people on the show. Several of the dance moms publicly criticized her for being too harsh to their children. At one point, Marcella told the studio's youngest dancers that they were not ready to compete in LA, which they were upset about. And although Marcella was the one who told them, this was presumably a joint decision that Alyssa had also signed off on, because she is the owner of the studio, although this is just a guess. But the moms of the children shifted the blame to Marcella rather than Alyssa, seemingly because Marcella was the one who delivered the bad news. In response to this, fans of the show then turned on the moms, and the hashtag #JusticeForMarcella actually started trending on Twitter in her defense, because some fans felt like Marcella was being unfairly blamed. And some fans even went as far as to say that Alyssa was allowing Marcella to take the fall and was not taking responsibility herself, although this part may or may not be true depending on your interpretation. The fallout from Global All Stars. In 2024, Alyssa competed on and eventually won the first season of RuPaul's Drag Race Global All Stars. However, Global All Stars itself was not well received by the fans, and it is reportedly the lowest rated Drag Race franchise in history. Part of the reason for this was that there were accusations that the judges were biased towards queens from English-speaking franchises, and there were even rumours of racism. And not only was the season itself controversial, but Alyssa's win was controversial pretty much from the start. Alyssa had been at the top of almost every fan poll from week 1, never landed in the bottom once, and a lot of fans and media outlets argued that the entire season felt like it was built around crowning her from the start, and it was rigged for her to win. There was also reportedly an unaired fight in Untucked between Alyssa and Queen Kong. Throughout the season, there were accusations that Down Under contestant Queen Kong had been bullying Italian contestant Nilenya, and the two of them had several confrontations throughout the season. Fans online even said that Queen Kong, along with some other contestants like UK contestant Kitty Scott-Claus, were being xenophobic towards Nilenya and other contestants. Nilenya later revealed in an Instagram live that she had actually asked producers to disqualify Queen Kong because she felt like Queen had been bullying her, and apparently Alyssa had stood up for Nilenya during the confrontation. Alyssa then apparently had an argument with Queen that got so heated that it almost turned physical. Although Queen later said in a social media post that this was not true and that she and Alyssa are good sisters. Drag Race France contestant Soa Demuse pushed back on the allegations of bullying and said that she felt like Queen was just blunter than some of the European queens were used to. Queen Kong later responded to the situation in an Instagram story, saying that if they were going to talk about it off camera, everyone knew exactly why she had, quote, come for Alyssa so harshly in Untucked, while maintaining that she never intended to hurt anyone. Alyssa herself posted a message of support for Queen afterwards, despite the apparent conflict between them. But the wider fallout between Queen and Nilenya reportedly continued even after the finale. And although Alyssa was not directly involved in all of this drama, she did get criticised because at one point during the season, Alyssa brought up to Nilenya that some queens had said that they thought she should be in the bottom too. However, it was actually Alyssa herself who had said that.
Who do y'all think is in the bottom, though? I could see Pythia or Nelly in the bottom.
Nelly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The top?
Top? Yeah, of course.
Oh, she was mentioned for someone's bottom.
This then caused a fight between Nilenya and several other queens, which got quite a lot of backlash online because viewers felt like Nilenya had been ganged up on and she couldn't defend herself as easily in English, which is her second language, and some people blamed Alyssa for causing this fight in the first place. And so, although Alyssa won the season, it was not a universally popular decision among fans, and the season itself remains pretty controversial, although some fans agreed that Alyssa was probably the logical winner and stayed away from the main controversies enough to be a justifiable winner. What is Alyssa doing now? In 2021, Alyssa competed on America's Got Talent, accompanying the children from Beyond Belief Studio as they auditioned. The group made it all the way to the semi-finals as a wildcard pick before being eliminated, with a lot of fans feeling like they were robbed. That same year, Alyssa put on a one-woman autobiographical stage show called Alyssa Memoirs of a Queen, which happened in London's West End at the Vaudeville Theatre. The reviews were mixed, with one review saying that it was a, quote, ego fest with a helping of humility, while other outlets called it an absolute must-see. In 2024, Alyssa competed on The GOAT, which is an Amazon Freevee reality competition series where 14 reality TV stars compete against each other for a $200,000 prize and the title of Greatest of All Time. That same year, as I already mentioned, Alyssa also won Global All-Stars. In 2025, Alyssa returned to the Drag Race universe again, this time as a guest judge on Canada's Drag Race Season 6 during the Reading Battles Challenge. In 2026, Alyssa had her Thanks for Everything North American tour, which ran from April to June, with stops including New York, Los Angeles, and Toronto. She also did a one-night stand-up comedy special show at Provincetown Hall, and the benefits went to Sandy Hook Promise, which is a non-profit organisation focusing on preventing gun violence. Between tour dates, Alyssa continues to run her dance studio Beyond Belief full-time back home in Mesquite, Texas. According to multiple news outlets, Alyssa has an estimated net worth of around $3 million, which is built from touring, the dance studio, merchandise, and brand endorsements, including a past eyeshadow palette collaboration with Anastasia Beverly Hills. However, as with many of these net worth estimates, it may not be correct. It's also worth mentioning that back in 2022, Alyssa publicly clapped back at legislation that tried to ban children from attending drag shows, which feels relevant given her own studio's child-friendly and family-facing image through Dancing Queen. And Alyssa has always positioned herself as a champion and advocate for the community. So, despite some of her past dramas and potential controversies, it's clear that Alyssa remains one of the most in-demand and successful queens to ever come out of the Drag Race franchise. And as I always say in my videos, please do not send hate to Alyssa or anyone else mentioned in this video. These types of videos are just for entertainment and informative purposes, so please make sure you enjoy this type of content passively and remember to keep it respectful. So there you go, there was a video about the dramatic life and career of Alyssa Edwards. What do you think of Alyssa Edwards? And did any of the information in this video surprise you? Let me know in the comments. If you'd like to get things like early access, exclusive content, as well as many other benefits like priority to have your comments featured in my videos, you can check out either my Patreon, which is my main platform, or for a more convenient option if you want, you can also join my YouTube membership by clicking the join button under any of my videos. And there'll be links to both of those things in the description. I'd also like to say thank you so much to my amazing Patreon members. You are absolutely incredible. Your support truly does keep this channel going, and you have no idea how grateful I am to all of you. So honestly, thank you so much. Please make sure you like and comment on this video because it does help to boost it in the algorithm and promote it to even more people. And please make sure you do your big one and smash that subscribe button because it does make a big difference. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you'll join me in the future for some more Drag Race gossip, secrets, and drama. Thank you so much. Bye.